Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back if that is the case that applies to you. So, welcome to this reading, welcome to this channel that is dedicated. There is various content in it, but the main focus are collective tarot readings around myth from ancient Greek mythology. Sorry, I've been trying to fix the cable, but apparently it's not bothering the camera, so all is good. So, I'm excited for this reading. I'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the reading first. Title of the reading. What is your mythological energy? So, I hope that I will be able to hype up some people. But another use for this type of reading also to illuminate stuff that you might not be aware of and that you might need to pay attention to or work on. Another reason why this video gets me a little excited and can be useful for this channel in particular because it can be a very useful screening for people who are just entering the channel or the spiritual world in terms of available content online. And so this can be this type of videos, not just this video, because you can find many other types of tarot readings. And the reason why I say this, because can also be a very important screening for you to understand if this is the right channel for you. If none of the four energies that will be described and analyzed in this video correspond to yours, then very likely this is not the right channel for you. This might simply mean that the energies and the informations that I am entrusted with do not touch your life area, and that is okay. That doesn't mean that we have to be enemies or whatever. It simply means that your life path is going elsewhere. This can also mean other things. But yeah, no, let's keep it okay. It's just that I know that there are some people with whom I really do not resonate with, and like they know, they have been notified over and over again that their type of energy is not welcome and is not going to be treated here, and they still like to linger around. So if you are still here, this will be like a further invitation for you to stop looking for enlightenment here. The only type of enlightenment that I could be able to give to those people would be at least try to act a little better, or just get used to rape shit, okay? This is for people who are at least trying. That is one general message that there is one general criteria that I can impose on my channel. But then, back to, I'm going to leave aside what I don't want here, and we are now going back to what we want to achieve here today. So, I have already pulled out 4 cards, but we are going to do these in double blind. So I pulled them face down. If I can move the camera, perhaps. Okay. I'm face down. I'm going to film them later. Unfortunately, I am not filming on my little lovely tarot table because I am still healing from a little stomach thing. which I could also open up a chapter about. Yes, no? Perhaps later. But anyway, this is why I'm filming this in bed, because it's better for my nervous and sensory system at this moment. But you know, that's just a matter of aesthetic at the end of the day. So the most important thing is that I get to deliver this message to you if it is meant for you. This is a timeless reading, so the time where you decide to look at this reading is the right time for you. And yeah, let's go. What is your mythological energy? For groups, as per usual, I am now going to film the cards and tell which group is which. And then I'm just going to channel. See you at your group. All right. So we are going to have group number 1, group number 2, number 3, and 4. Once again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Meditate on the cards if you need. Pause the video if you need. I will now stop and film group number. Group 1. So, this is your card. Tiresias. Okay? Could be a Gemini. Like, Gemini could be your zodiac sign. Or you could simply resonate with the fact of having some sort of duality within you. Now, dualities can be of many things, like the first type of duality, like the most directly linked to the myth that is represented here, is the male and female energy duality. So you might be someone who embodies both energies. Like if you're a male, you might have a lot of female energy, and if you're a female, you might have a lot of masculine energy. Okay, so just for your curiosity, Tiresias was a person, like a normal mortal person. Muy bien. Sorry, my dog wasn't eating, and so we went for an extra walk, and now he's finally eating, and I'm like, okay. I'm having a little moment, a little satisfactory dog moment during your reading. But back to you. So Tiresias was a normal person who was walking through the woods, and he witnessed like a divine omen. In his case, it was a pair of snakes, and after seeing this, he was transformed into a woman. Like his body was transformed like that. Okay. And he lived like for 7 years as a woman, and after 7 years, he was transformed back into his male body, and it turned out that that was all Zeus' plan to sorry for the noise. It was all Zeus' plan to get someone on Earth and make them learn a bunch of lessons, having both type of hearts, okay, male and female, and so that way Zeus could have brought him to Olympus and settle a quarrel with Hera. That didn't end really well for Tiresias because he kind of cracked under social pressure, and therefore he was transformed even further. So this brings me to the other type of duality that you might resonate with or relate to, and this could be like a duality between light and dark. I don't know, for example, you might have like deep knowledge of the occult, and at the same time you like to be outside and be in nature, go to music festivals or stuff like that, or another zodiac sign that was coming through was Scorpio. Like you might like to be outside, to be around people when the occasion arises. You might like to be social, to be outgoing, ask questions, learn about all different type of beings around you, and at the same time you can just disappear for 3 months and be by yourself and do soul searching, studying, and just be alone and be in your own energy. What else? Let me see. Another type of duality that was coming through while I was watching this one specific keyword in the card right here, that says the clairvoyances. And as you can see, it says the clairvoyances, but the guy is blindfolded. Okay, so I'm going to tell you more about this because this keyword represents, we might say, the overall energy around your mythological energy, or rather how you have been approaching your mythological energy so far. Which is, by the way, like the energy that comes through. It's a bit of confusion, like you might know that you have this kind of duality or dualities. You might resonate with different, like with several type of dualities that I have been mentioned during this reading. Like perhaps you have been feeling this, but you haven't been able to put words onto that. And so yeah, let's do that together. I'm happy to help you. But before we dive into that, I wanted to talk about another type of duality that is coming through. And it is that you might have some sort of impairment or difficulty in one or perhaps more area of your life, and at the same time be super skilled in another area. Let's say, for example, that you have anxiety or ADHD or some other mental condition that you might be very aware and sometimes wary of, but then when it comes to sports, you are the beast. Or vice versa, like you might be very frail in your body, but when it comes to mental gymnastic, that's where you shine, okay? And so, as I briefly introduced, and that is a general message that can refer to all type of dualities that came to my mind so far, is this confusion. Like at this point in time, you might be wondering, like, for example, why can't I be just one thing? Like, why can't I be normal? Why can't I be under control? Or why do I have this extra baggage? Or why do I have this extra piece to me? Does this serve any type of purpose whatsoever? Like this is a question that you might have been asking to yourself over your life. You might be asking to yourself this question at this very moment, or perhaps you might have been pushed by your environment to ask yourself this question, because the modern world, the gray world, as I call it sometimes, doesn't react really well to dualities, even if they exist. That is just a fact. We, as humans, we are more like mandalas than canned soups. Okay. And so whatever it is, the type of duality that you resonate with, you might have had to experience not only the inner feelings and sensations brought by this duality, and let's say that perhaps you never even had the chance to study it, to have someone to trustworthy to whom you could ask questions without being judged, like, okay, I feel like that, and then some other days I feel like that, and I noticed that perhaps not everyone else around me moves in that way, and so this is kind of shining a light onto a part of me that I am not fully acquainted with. And so when it comes to what is the bad side of having this duality, of embodying this energy, how can you make the most of it? How can you start making it work for you if that hasn't been the case already, okay? And so the key word here is this one, the golden yellowish thing that says the messages. This talks about communication, and this doesn't surprise me at all, because Tiresias was created, transformed, put through certain specific type of experiences in order to give him a certain type of knowledge. He was supposed to be able to see both sides of the spectrum. In his case, it was male and female spectrum, so this might be something that you directly resonate with, but also, light and dark. It's all I keep hearing. Light and dark. Perhaps you are able to have or analyze things that happen around you, or even people, like very, very deeply. Okay, wait, because there's a message that is coming through. I need to clarify that. Okay. That was a side message, probably for later. What I was saying, like, you could be able to analyze people very deeply, like even or situations, even into their darker aspects, even into their darker corners, because every phenomenon has like a dark part. It just, Earth is made of all the shiny things, and there's the ground, that force that pulls you down under somehow, and so you might have this ability, and at the same time you are like funny as fuck, like super quirky, or like you know how to tell a joke, and you also might be able to deliver potentially difficult information in a light form, like making sure that the message does go through, but it goes through with a laughter, and the person will think about it later, but it will not crush their feelings in 100,000 pieces. Okay, so very good communicator. Perhaps you might need to study a bit more about what your duality or your dualities are about, especially if there is like one part of you that you have kind of rejected, or you haven't been fully able to be in touch with for a long time. You might need to seek out some counseling and to craft some time out of your schedule to re-get to relearn, to get to know yourself again a bit. Little brain blackout. Yeah. So you might have to go through a learning process about yourself before you are able to really be a voice for both sides of the spectrum. And it doesn't even have to be like I will rise above anyone, but just developing this ability to create bridges of communications between seemingly distant universes or realities. And the reason why you might need to take some time to really learn about yourself is because having this dual energy can create some imbalances. First and foremost, can create confusion. Like, for example, this can go in different ways. Let's say that there is a part of you that you haven't been able to really get in touch with and express, and rather you have been pushed to being scared of that somehow. And so in order for you to be accepted, one risk is to go completely the opposite way and only connect with people, places, and experiences that will invalidate again and again and again that part of you. The same goes for another potential phase of your self-discovery experience. Like, let's say that you have been rejected for a while, a part of yourself. All of a sudden, you see a video, you see a post, you attend a conference, you watch a speech, you listen to a song, something happens and it just makes something click inside of you, like, dang, this is me, this just hits home, okay? And because you have been denying yourself that for a long time, you might end up being kind of obsessed with that, completely erasing that other part of you that was already present and perhaps overpowering a little bit, and once again getting crushed by social pressure around what are the codes and the norms in order for you to fully self-identify with that category, okay? And just know that imposing super strict labels on yourself is not going to be super beneficial, because you are not supposed to fit in, and that is okay. That might be a little heartbreaking for some, but at the same time, you are supposed to learn and share knowledge. So you are supposed to be in a moving energy. And if you take the time to learn about yourself, that can be super empowering. That can even lead you to discover your life purpose, to discover what it is that you're able to do as soon as you wake up in the morning, and whatever happens around you, you know that you're able to keep your mind and your heart and your spirit in that. Just know that in order for you to really be harmonious, and in a minute we're going to see what harmony and what self-knowledge might really mean for you. What? oh, yes. You might really, yes, okay. I had a very specific thought and it kind of went away, but now it's back. It went away again. Give me a second. Okay, so in order for you to reach balance, you will first have to radically accept yourself as a dual being. Okay? This might also be, this might be very specific for someone. Accepting yourself as being like very spiritual, but at the same time expressing the spirituality through the material world, or vice versa. Like, you might slowly discover in the way you have been going through the material world that you are actually naturally spiritually inclined, and you can move in both. But as long as you are not able to see yourself as full and whole, as a dual being, the type of cycles that you might be experiencing are cycles of like super deep obsession, self-rejection, and eventual probable rejection as well. Like, you might go through meet people or go to places or go through experiences that help you express a part of yourself, but as long as you are not aware that this is just a part of you that needs their own time and space within your life, as well as all the other parts of you, you might put too much energy into expressing yourself in one way, and therefore ending up depleted, because you are not just that. It's not because you have like all those different realities within you that one has to die. Okay, the mission that will probably be the leitmotif of your life will be to craft your life in a way where all of you is welcome. And so, yeah, really, what I see here is really the student and the book going hand in hand. Knowledge is your power. Knowledge will be your power through your whole life. You are not broken or wrong because you are different. There is actually a vault of treasures within you, and the more time you decide to spend and dedicate to learn about all the unicity that is you, the more you are going to find out answers about yourself that you like. You're going to find opportunities that align with who you are, that align with the schedule that really works for you, that align with the seasonal cycles that are you, because yes, we go through, like we all go through planetary movements and phenomenon, but the way it affects each and every one of us can be quite unique. And learning how that translates for you is beneficial for everyone, but it's going to be super beneficial for you because it is really going to make you shine. Like, this could actually be your life purpose. You might end up becoming a teacher, a professor of some kind, a public speaker, a counselor, spiritual mentor. Like, you are going to be able to help people like you. You are going to be able to help yourself out of any type of feeling of it's hard to be, it's hard to exist. Yes, it's hard to exist if you are a magnificent unicorn and you try to live your life as an ass. You know? And so, yeah, your shine might not come through like crazy acts of stunts and rebellion. Like, you might go through that, or you might have gone through that. You might be going through this at this moment, or perhaps if you're already in your adult years, you have gone through that in your youth. But that was all to learn. That was all to teach you, first and foremost, all the different colors that you're able to express, because yes, those environments might have rejected you at some point, but that was for your good. You might not know what was happening there, like for real. And like, even if that ended in rejection, what I wanted to say is that while you were in there, you were perfectly able to express yourself through all those different codes, okay? And that was also, and those hard experiences were also there to teach you what you are not. And so, yeah, at some point you will probably have to go through a dark night of the soul, where you will have to shed from all the unnecessary pain that you might still have within you from those experiences, and like remain naked with yourself. But at the same time, this is going to be fucking powerful, because look at this guy. I mean, he looks fine to me, you know. No, but really though, like, you are going to discover that in your nakedness, in your rawness, in your wild expression, in your conscious wild expression, there is so much beauty that you can just sit in it and create from it non-stop. Wow, I love to have this energy in this video. So thank you for tuning in, Group 1. This was your card. I hope that this resonates. I hope that this helped you find confirmation for stuff that you might already feel inside yourself, but sometimes it's good to sit down and have a conversation, even if that is in virtual form and not live. But having someone helping you revisit some technical elements so that you can get rid of the clouds is very important, and I hope that that was the case for you. If you like your message and you resonate with it, you are very welcome to stay. You can subscribe to the channel, you can like, you can follow me on other social media platforms. I have all my links below. You can also donate to support this growth. And if this was the only pile, I'm not using piles. I never have. Why do I keep getting confused? If this is the only group that you resonated with, I wish you a good whatever you are going to have next. I'm now going to film group 2. Bye. All right. Group 2. I took a little break to uncover your card beforehand because I really wanted to make sure that I was channeling this right. And I think I am. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you your card. Echo. This is a quite known myth. If you are not familiar with it, I'm going to tell a little bit about it, okay? So Echo was a nymph, very beautiful, by the way. And one day she gave in to Zeus' plan, and as per usual, Zeus was around trying to cheat on his wife, and he needed someone to distract. Yeah, I just received confirmation that the message that I'm channeling through it is correct. So I'm hesitating because it's going to be a heavy reading, okay? A disclaimer, like very different energy than group 1. But we are going to get to that so that I can deliver the information in the best way possible for you, and so that you can digest it in the best way possible for you. So Zeus' plan was the following. He needed someone to distract his wife so that he could run around and do whatever. And what he pushed Echo to do was to chat with his wife, like very fiery wife, by the way, goddess too. She has superpowers. So Echo was kind of playing with fire, okay, but I guess that she kind of fell for the more intimidating god at that point in time, and so she went and distracted her with a lot of funny stories and yeah, just basically blah 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 blah. She talking about nothing just to keep her from seeing what was happening behind her back, behind the scenes. Of course, Hera saw it at some point. She got pissed off about it, and she punished Echo with quite the curse, because she was condemned to never be able to really speak. She would only be able to communicate by echoing words and sounds, never fully be able to express full phrases, full feelings, full thoughts. And that goes even worse, because after receiving the punishment, Echo falls in love with Narcissus, just kind of like the worst guy to fall in love with, to be honest. And like, he showed some interest because she was quite pretty, but eventually started finding her weird because she was only echoing his own words and sounds, and left her in a very long-lasting spiral of repeating cycles where she would just drown in nostalgia and regret. And eventually she became an echo for the words of lovers. Like, she would stand near loving couples and amplify their discourse in order to help love grow. So, group 2, you might be experiencing some type of karmic debt. Like, I don't know if that's the word, but like, you have to repay karma for something that you did. And the only way where you are going to repay this debt, you know what you did. I don't. Okay? What I do know, because I really wanted to make sure that that is the message that I need to deliver to group 2, because this is not an easy message to deliver. Okay? Like, telling someone from now on you're going to be experiencing difficult stuff, and that is because of something that you did. And it doesn't matter how sorry you are, how sorry you will be, how difficult the future situations will be, you will have to go through them. And that is the only way you have to repay for whatever you did in the past. This might also refer to something you might not be fully aware of. Like, you might know that you did something out of hurry, fear, anxiety. Like, it wasn't in your, like, you were not embodying your best energy when you did whatever it is that you did. And so from a spiritual point of view, you might not even fully realize to which extent that might go. And it is going to be through those difficulties that you are going to see exactly what it is that you need to pay for. Like, it might even be experiences more intense than what you put someone else through, because Spirit is really trying to teach you something. Good news is that this is a lesson about love. Bad news is that you might probably have to learn it in a very difficult way. This might be also, karmic debts can be identified in your present life, but let's say that you are going through these endless cycles of difficult love and drama, and sadness and looking like this in the middle. Okay, sorry. It can go deep. Okay, you might be going through cycles that have been going on for different lifetimes, maybe. Okay, and instead of putting the stop to the situation in this lifetime, you went on again with basically failing the lesson that you were supposed to go through. And good news is that you are going to be given as many chances as you need to integrate the lesson. The bad news is that those chances are not going to be completely pain-free and super easy to accept. Okay, this is happening for the higher good of your soul. Okay, your soul is being forced into this situation of solitude and situation of rejection, or also you might be falling victim of gossip. Okay, like a very, very heavy drama energy around you. It could be like in the family sector, family area, at work, friends, in your love life. But we are going to talk about your love life later. But this is happening because you've done that to someone at some point. This could even be like in your childhood when you didn't even know what the fuck you were doing. Okay, but as long as you don't take the time to let your soul know how bad that feels for you, how bad that feels for the collective, how bad that must have felt for that someone who was just existing in your zone while you were not feeling your best self, it is just going to repeat over and over again, and you're going to remain stuck in this cycle. And it is going to be super difficult for you because you're not going to be able to see immediately why this is happening for you. Like, the only thing that you are going to be able to see is why you have to go through this. But you might not be able to see right away or for quite some time why this could be beneficial. Okay? Like, you might have to go through some very painful endings here. This is the final keyword. Like, this is you walking away. Okay? This is the lesson that you need to learn. How to walk the fuck away. How to sometimes show your ass, even if that might feel lonely, even if that might feel scary because of reasons, okay? But as long as you keep on entertaining this energy, this is all you're going to get. You crying over yourself. You crying because people are not treating you the way that they should. And the message here is not to accept the fact that people will forever treat you like shit and you are supposed to be feeling like that. Okay, that is not the lesson that you are supposed to learn through this difficult journey you are being put through. The lesson you need to learn is that it is up to you to stand up for yourself. It is up to you to be strict and to know when you need to fucking leave a situation. It is up to you to know when you are feeding the wrong things. It is up to you to realize that sometimes saying yes just so that someone else will just leave us alone for 5 minutes, those 5 minutes can cost a lifetime of experiences. Because you need to pay attention to every yes that you say in this life on earth. There are energies that shouldn't be recycled, that shouldn't be pushed forward, that shouldn't be fed. Okay? And yeah, I really, really hope that by giving you clarity about the fact that this is still movement, okay? I mean, this ends in movement, perhaps a solitary movement, and that might be the hardest part to accept. Realizing that you are the only one who is willing to stand up for yourself, who is willing to stand up for what you believe in, who is willing to stand up for your own sake, your own good. And in order to do that, you might have to be alone or accept for a while, and sometimes for a long while, love life that does not correspond to what you have inside. I don't want to leave it here. No, I don't want to leave it here because life is an infinite force. So I don't give a fuck if this is your general energy for this lifetime. I still want to give you an encouraging message. Perhaps it is still important for you to integrate that into your soul so that you can at least try to do better the next time, because yeah. And so one personal way that I might want to share with you to try and correct this tendency, because knowing that at some point you created this bad tendency, this bad karma for yourself, is also telling us something else. You are able to create better karma for yourself. Okay, so perhaps you will have to accept that because of the way you have led your relationships up until this point, you might not be able to find a partner for yourself, okay, for this lifetime. And we can be happy without that, okay? But this is not talking about happy solitude or hermit mode or taking the time for yourself. It really talks about feeling an ease in your love life and not being able to express your love language, your love messages, your loving energy in a way that represents you. And so you might have to learn and find ways where you can still express that without being rewarded right away in a way that you wish. Know that this is not going to go anywhere. This is not going to get lost. This is what's curing your soul. Okay? And by finding a way to I don't want to say be around love, because that kind of can sound creepy, but to find love everywhere, to find love elsewhere, to find ways to express love even in your smallest gestures, even in a context where perhaps love is not present, like, I don't want to say present, is not visible right away, or is not as attainable as it would be, like, very directly in a relationship with a committed partner. And having that constant heart-to-heart exchange, you might have to find ways to maintain your heart open and receive love from life in other ways. And this is how you are going to keep yourself into a loving vibration. And therefore, I mean, this is a general message. This can refer to a whole different type of people. I might be talking to someone who is experiencing this in their teenage years, and so perhaps the past life or childhood stuff resonates more. Or I might be talking to someone in their 20s or 30s, and so this might talk about a situation where you might have to experience a few years of difficulty, where you will have to purge yourself somehow before you can embody another type of energy. And this could also refer to older people, like perhaps you've already had your chances on love, and it ended like this, and instead of putting yourself in more relationships, hoping that it will end up differently, you will kind of have to learn how to accept loneliness, because of the fact that you might have acted in wrong ways in order to avoid loneliness at all costs. Okay, you might have accepted all kinds of conditions just to keep someone close to you, and so to your eyes there was nothing wrong, because you were just protecting the relationship or the relationships. But yes, I mean, just because you feel weak within yourself doesn't mean that your choices and actions don't have an impact on others. Okay, quite the other way around. And so at this point in time, you just have to reflect on what you have let slide in your life in order to have a love life. Okay, you are now going to be deprived of a love life because you handle that in a super unhealthy way. Okay, and I'm being quite straightforward at this point because I'm referring to older people, and so I mean, I know that time are changing and older generations did not have as much information, but at the same time, um, from a point on, especially if you are being hurtful to other humans, you just have to learn your lesson. You cannot be a piece of crap for free and thinking that new people are just going to come in willingly, endlessly and forever, and you are just going to sit there and take all the wrong decisions, and it's not going to affect you anyway, in any way, okay? But this is just for a selected few. I want to focus this message on hope and using that as a time for work on self and do some soul purging, because that is the type of energy that I want on this channel. Very simply and straightforward. I unfortunately, or can be viewed with different type of perspective, but I grew up and I was directly raised by people who simply refused to learn the lessons over and over again. And I am talking about grown-up adults who would receive like 100,000 warnings on this is a bad idea, but then would still go into that direction because they would feel like threatened, attacked, and just act in all type of crazy ways. And so in order to ensure the quality of what I do, I have decided to not focus on those type of people, because if you go into healing and all you want to do is to prove how much healing doesn't work for you because you are a special butterfly who can only do things backwards, then there is absolutely nothing that a healer can do for you. There is just the universe that can isolate you more and more so that you can finally look in the mirror and see how much shit you have done so far. Okay? That is why sometimes I'm also very cutthroat, because not only I came in contact with those type of quite hopeless energies in my early life, but I seem to have to encounter them also now in my work and professional life. And as I was saying in the beginning, I mean, I was saying this in a different way, but this channel is not made to find the perfect solutions for just anybody, okay? First and foremost, you need to feel called to Greek mythology somehow. Perhaps it's part of your culture, perhaps it's something that you like, perhaps it's something that makes your soul vibrate and you don't even know why, okay? And then you should be at least a little bit interested in improving your spiritual health, the quality of your experiences, and the clarity that you're willing to have of those. And so if that is the approach that you're willing to have, you're well welcome to stay here. If you're going to need further support to go through this phase, I think that some previous videos might help you quite a lot. Okay, you can scroll the catalog and just do the little game, finding the title that calls you the most, and without forcing yourself to be like to follow a certain order. Just follow your intuition, follow the different groups, and taking the time to sit down and remember why you are doing things from a spiritual point of view can be quite life-saving in difficult situations where all you want to do is to see the situation end. Okay, can be me, can be another tarot reader, can be your therapist, can be a cat, can be a river as well. Go tell your bad shit to the river, or the sea, or the lake, or whatever. They're not going to tell anyone. But at least they're going out. Okay? So yeah, I think that was it. A very, very heavy reading. I did not expect to see that happening in this reading and with this title, to be honest. If you want to stay, you can subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. You can follow me on other social media platforms. I post content quite consistently, so that can also be entertaining. Reservation links are also down below for private readings, and the donation link is with all the other links as well. Thank you. If this is the only pile that you feel called to today, wish you a great whatever you're going to have next. And I'm going now to film group number 3. Hi, group 3. So, if you have selected group 3, this is your card. I'm Althea. So, wait. I don't know. Anyway, okay, this is your reading. If you would like to know more about this myth, and after this reading, you might want to connect a bit deeper with this energy, I have another video in my catalog of collective readings that is dedicated to this one in particular. So yeah, but right now the energy that is coming through is that you might be a manifestor, like a divine one from Eden or Atlantis, whatever the spiritual realm you might identify with, but very abundant. And very idealistic as well, especially in terms of love. Also someone very ambitious, someone who has perhaps no problem at least picturing themselves working hard to achieve great results. Like someone who is kind of afraid to stay stuck. Like your dreams, your potential is like constantly feeding you with ideas or just energy to move forward. perhaps you have too much energy sometimes, or too many ideas, and you don't really know how to discriminate, and so you might have the tendency to overflow in the wrong direction sometimes. Okay, I had to take a break because I wanted to analyze the two keywords together. Like the one that talks about what is the best for you of embodying this type of mythological energy, and what can be the downsides, or what can be the points where you need to work on. And so those elements are represented by the two. I knew this cable was going to be a problem. Presented by the two keywords here. So first one is this one. It talks about joy. It talks about celebrations. Okay, so you might be someone who manifests through joy, who manifests through positivity, like positive affirmations might be like a great tool for you. Partying as well, like you might really benefit from sometimes being around a lot of people and have that specific kind of energy release. Dancing as well might be beneficial for you to maintain your abundance flow constant. But yeah, basically by being appreciative of life in many different ways, that is how you are able to manifest, okay, to create more abundance. You might be a creative, an artist, you might be have your own business, be an entrepreneur, an artisan, like, and you have this something coming from within you that as long as it is fueled in the right way, it can be stopped. Now, the bad side of all of this is I don't want to say like you're perfect, everyone around you is shit, but because you might have like great people around you, okay, and you are a great person as well from what I'm seeing. Like you have the potential for great love, for example, okay. You have the potential to create stuff that is able to influence people on a larger scale. You might be a leader, like not a tyrant, okay, but someone who is able to enter a situation and instantly know how to create movement. And if you channel that for a good cause, for the best, this can even make you become, I'm hearing famous, like doesn't have to be like you're going to become the next Kim Kardashian or stuff like that. Even if she's perhaps a manifestor of some kind. I still need to understand what kind. But yeah, like you can potentially impact entire communities. I mean, some of you. Or I don't know, create something out of nothing. Like let's say you are the person when you start a new job, you start going around asking questions and learning everything about the job, and then when it's finally all clear in your head, you are able to provide that solution, to open up the new department, to establish that new procedure, that new thing that is eventually going to help everyone around you. Now, the thing that I am putting so much emphasis on how great it is, the impact that you can have, because the difficulty in your life might not come directly from you. Oh, wow. Actually, yes, side message, but I'm going to leave that I'm going to explain that in a minute. First, the most direct thing that is coming through is the discoveries. Okay, so your life difficulty might come from the discoveries that you are going to make because of who you are. So you might end up discovering, for example, and this is like the downside of your mythological energy, because we are talking about unpleasant discoveries, unfortunately. You might discover that even if you know who you are, you know how greatly you can do things, and also you know how much help that can bring to, let's say, other people in general. Perhaps you're an online speaker, an online creator, or you are aspiring to become one, and you know that the knowledge that you have is definitely going to be beneficial for a large number of people, even remotely, or just within a certain workplace. You just know that as long as everyone lets you do your thing, everybody eats, everybody shines, everybody's happy, and everything can be in the flow. But because you have the natural ease, that can naturally also piss off some people because they don't have that. Some people are manifestors, but since they are not awakened to that, they might end up losing themselves in the more like materialistic aspects of manifestation, and therefore block themselves for the full capacity of their power. And then some people are just not manifestors. Our souls are wired differently because we are supposed to be good at different things, because the word is past, because there is stuff that has to be done around. And if everyone rushes to do the same one thing because it looks shiny, nothing is absolutely ever going to happen, because that thing looks shiny because it has to be visible. It's for everybody's safety. It's like when the plane is about to start to take off, there is the flight attendant who is signaling you, okay, exit number 1, exit number 2, and then the little light will, show you where to go. And same principle here. Okay, is someone is a natural born leader and is put in a position of leadership, that is because they have a different or a specific way to handle difficult situations, to handle stress, to handle large number of factors coming together all at once. That can be mind-shattering if you're not wired like that. That type of stress can drive people crazy, like completely, okay? And so that is why some of us are gifted with certain characteristics that can make actions or words or ways of moving more visible, and that is because it is supposed to be like that for everybody's sake, okay? But since not everybody understands that, you are going to have to learn how to deal with people who are not happy with who you are, with people who would like to be you, with people who would like to have the same abilities that you have, the same recognition that you have. And I mean, they might have like a super joyful path ahead of them. Like, joy does not come from social status, so joy does not come from how high you can rank in society. Joy comes from how happy you are when you wake up in your bed in the morning, you look around and you see all the things and beings that you're supposed to love, and they are healthy and safe, and and everybody can have a joyful day, okay? If the way that you have to ensure that is shining, be around people, creating new bridges, creating more opportunities, creating, like being in your sacral chakra a lot, by the way. Of course that is going to give you joy because you are in your purpose. But if that is not your purpose, and you think that by placing yourself in similar situations or by mimicking some sort of behaviors, that will instantly give you that same type of joy, those people are basically robbing themselves from whatever it is that they could have. But that is not your problem, by the way. That is just for you to understand how your energy can be perceived elsewhere. Because what is being said, like, right away, is set the motherfuckers on fire. Is that you are perfectly capable of creating whatever it is that you feel like you are capable of creating. Like, if you're good at something, and you know you're good at something, then it's for something. Yeah, your lesson here by embodying this energy will be to learn that being naturally good at something will not give you instant safety. You will have to become good at that as well. You will have to become good at discriminating opportunities. You will have to become extremely good at discriminating people. You will have to become extremely good at cutting people off, putting them on the fucking pyre, set it all on fire, and move on, because keeping those energies attached to you might give you something to do. Like, you have back and forth with dumb people, why not? But it will not bring you any forward in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, okay? Like, this is going to be a lifetime learning for you, because it is going to come in over and over again. As soon as you're going to create something new, as soon as you're going to level up again, as soon as you're going to enter a new environment, you're going to discover, like, your role. What you are supposed to do is going to also discover what it is that is not working on in there, your role is also going to be having to be the bigger person, the adult, but not in a way where you let everything slide. Be the bigger adult in terms of being the one who says, no, this is not going to be accepted in here. Now, before I close, another message that is coming through that might resonate only for a selected few. And this is probably for those who have like very specific skills, or like skills that could from the outside could potentially appear as mysterious or supernatural. And what is coming through is that one part of your journey, of just a selected part of you, is going to comprehend discovering why you have those abilities, and it is not going to be a nice discovery. Okay, like, I'm going to use myself as an example, okay, because I'm an energy reader, I'm also a human, I come in with baggage and life experience, okay? So I have psychic abilities, clairaudient, clairvoyant, I'm also into mediumship. Now, I have recently managed to make the link between me being able to anticipate situations in the future. Like, of course I studied it, of course I nourished it, of course at some point in my life I decided to put in the work to really understand how to handle it, manage it, and use it for others as well. Now, the thing that I discovered was that in my childhood, that was quite traumatic. I had, in order to survive, to be able to predict what was going to happen in a very chaotic and unpredictable environment. Okay, so that was like one example, okay, of very violent experiences, very as well dark family dynamics, or dark secrets, okay, that you might have to at some point illuminate and let come out, for you to really understand what is your power and what are its limits as well, okay? Understanding that you were entrusted with a certain type of pain at some point in your life, and perhaps by purpose, perhaps by destiny, perhaps by accident. That might be different for each and every one, but that also opened the door to something else, okay? And so in order for you to not get sucked by those traumatic feelings again, like getting stuck in a mentality where you're like, I can only be that great if I keep on putting myself through that pain over and over again, okay? Like, another thing that your energetic mission is calling you to do is to understand that by releasing and treating your trauma, your whatever you might have gained from it, that's for you. That's probably compensation for having had to deal with something that you shouldn't have to deal with. Anyone should have to deal with. Okay? And not only that you do not, you are not supposed to keep on feeling that pain in order to feel like yourself and to be yourself, to become your best self, or to express your potential fully. Your potential is going to come through self-love, through recognizing how amazing you are, and by letting go of those people who are only there to poke and poke and poke on your past traumas, so that you get stuck with them. Okay, because some people are really shitty like that. Okay, like, I don't know what to do with my life. That life seemed fun. I'm going to try to steal it. Oh, I can't. I'm therefore going to try to destroy it if I can have it. Like, it's also society induced, okay, but information is finally starting to come out. Support is there. So let yourself the grace and space to be cutthroat when you come in contact with those energies, because they are not there to be kept. Okay? Not everything can become a pet. Okay? Some things are just annoying bugs that lost their ways and decide that it's time to bother everyone in the random household or environment that they entered. Okay? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you for tuning in. This was your card. If you like the message, you resonated, you can subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, whatever. You can also follow me on other social platforms. Donate, book a private reading. All my links are down below. If that was your only pile, second time that I get confused in this video. If that was your only group, bye-bye. Have a good whatever you're going to have next. I am now going to film group 4. Group 4. So this is your card. Okay, I'm going to share an anecdote about your card and your group and this reading. So I received a download about the title of this reading. I think it was last week, okay? And so I put it down, started preparing, of course, but then I had other stuff to do in the meantime. And I had other stuff to do, but in my mind I already knew that I was going to do this reading. And I had this song in my mind, which is, I mean, it's not a specific song, it's more like a musical vibe. Are you familiar with the Requiem from Mozart? Like, ta-da! I was hearing organ, like, music, like the church thing, okay? But really, epic. Okay? And so I was curious, like, whose group is gonna be? And I think it's you. It wasn't making sense until I read your final keyword, because I was like, okay, I don't really know how to interpret this card in design, so I took a little break and I read it all, beforehand, because I wanted to make sure that I was delivering it right. Um, okay, so we are now going to analyze why all of this intensity is coming through. And the first thing that is coming through is that it's because you're fucking hot, okay? You might have Scorpio in your chart, so you might have like skills, okay, in a certain area of life that involves naked people, okay? So you got the message, okay? You might be really good, male or female, okay, a very good hips don't lie type of situation as well, okay? So you might have like people stuck on you from the past. That is one thing. But like in general, your romantic energy is kind of overpowering. Like, like you walk into a room and people instantly think about romance, okay? And this might also be a reflection on how you feel on the inside. Like you might also be like a super hopeless romantic, like always hoping to find their better half, okay? And you might have had difficulties with that precisely because you didn't know how to make collide like all these fiery energy that you have with your more perhaps even traditional or romantic side. So you might have searched, yeah, totally, like you might be very open when it comes to love, like you are willing to give yourself chances, okay, to meet people, to have eye-to-eye conversations, sometimes even from really up close, okay? But at the same time, like you might be looking for romantic satisfaction while at the same time focusing more on the senses, because this guy right here, he's not looking in front of him, he's looking behind, he's looking at a bum bum from the past, okay, or from the side, depending on what your current relationship status is. Like if you were single, perhaps like you are looking for love, but you are kind of stuck in the memory of a past love. That is a very specific message that is coming through. It could be for a very selected few. And basically, like you're looking for love in the wrong places because you're still looking at your past, okay? Or in general, you are looking for love, but you're coming off as a heartbreaker because even if inside of you are seeking for love, you have that curiosity perhaps, you are stuck in your ways, and you might have like really superficial ways to be with people. Like let's say that you are that you are very, like, you're hot, okay, like that. You might not be like the hottest person on the planet, but who is? You might just be really, like, you might be really, you might be aware of what your type is, or like in general you have a very sexy vibe to yourself, but that was just to explain that the concept of being hot does not refer to a selected type of physical attributes, okay? This simply talks about how easy it is for you to attract partners, okay? So since the thing you are confident in is your, like, how appeasing your physical appearance is. You know you look good, okay? You know you look good. You know that by just being there looking good, you might get, we're up all night to get some, we're up all night to get some, we're up all night to get, like, you might get some sort of satisfaction, okay, without too much effort. And therefore you might be missing on the fact that, I'm so ooey. I hope no one could hear that. I'm just, yeah, I just woke up like at 4 a.m. because my stuff is going around in my life, okay? So I kind of slept on the wrong side. And now I'm feeling like an old thing from a museum. But anyway, back to you. Like, you know you're hot, you know you look good, but you want love, okay? And that's okay, boo, first and foremost. If you feel like you have this flow of love within you, it is only fair for you to pursue that. Just know that in order for you to get that, it might it might come through chaotic circumstances, and that might be a matter of karma, okay? I know that this sounds weird as fuck, so let me think about it. Let me think about the best way to deliver this message. Okay, so I think that the best way that I have to explain this is to link it back to the music reference I made in the beginning, that da-da-da moment, okay? Because, okay, I'm just going to say it the way it's written here, okay? And after that, I'm going to explain the different scenarios that are coming through my specific mind. It says that you are going to get, to achieve success, very likely in love, because it's your love energy that is the most dominant in this reading. So yeah, perhaps like really love is a big part for you. Like you might have like a stable career, let's say, and at the same time your love life it's all over the place, or like it's very loud somehow. I mean, it could be again because you might be very skilled in a very specific area that involves people being really close while not wearing clothes. Can't believe I did this. Wow, my English is getting acceptable. But anyway, I think I got lost for a minute. Loud. So it might be because your intimate partners end up being really loud, or you were being really loud. You allow yourself to be really loud in intimate situation. But this could also be that you have the tendency to experience a lot of drama in your relationships, and that a lot of people know about it. Okay. Like, even if you are, like, officially speaking, a predictable person, or that is to explain why there is so much love energy in this reading. Okay. That is because your energy, your mission is more around love. Okay, you have something important in this lifetime that you need to learn about love. Perhaps it's several stuff. But, and also there are specific lessons and knowledge that you need to integrate about yourself in order to achieve some great results, even, perhaps. But yeah, in terms of love. So, back again to the music, the ta-da-da, okay. It talks about achieving success in a context of revenge. So I don't know who the fuck are you, okay, but okay, many scenarios are coming through. Either you are going to realize that what you want is actually love, because you have been treated by people in the past as just an object for pleasure, and therefore it happened once, it happened twice, it happened 3 times, maybe 4 or 5, you name it. At some point you are going to hit a point where you are going to say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you too. What I want is something deep, and that is because I have that within me. Therefore, it is just a natural expression of who I am. By staying in those situations, I am going to waste my happiness and potential away. But that is only going to, like, that realization is only going to come through while you are like this, okay, like really confused. Like, you see this guy, he has like different hands of different people all over him, okay, and he's not happy about what they're doing to him, okay. So this might be a message of reclaiming your having to reclaim your happiness in love, as revenge somehow towards those who did the most to keep you stuck in like superficial situations, or a situation that were not going anywhere in terms of growth and planning and commitment and all of that. Another scenario that is coming. Okay, no, first. And so therefore, the music reference in this case would be like you having to own your attractive and romantic power, and therefore entering a new life phase where you are able to be like da 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 da, love is here. Okay, and that only happens through refusing all that was not in alignment with your inner feeling of love, refusing everything that was from the outside and only there to take from you and not give you what you were hoping for, which is, as we can see here, intimacy, even trust. I mean, I'm not talking about my life and feelings with someone completely naked unless I trust them, okay? And this is exactly what's happening here. Very specific message for someone like the satisfaction of your hopes in terms of love might come in as universal vengeance or universal justice for whatever romantic mistreatment you might have experienced in the past, because of how people would react to your external appearance, like, oh, okay, they're just pretty, if you're a female, like, oh, they're just pretty, I just use her for sex, and then bye-bye. Or if you're a male, like, oh yeah, they're fun and strong and I just use them so that I don't. Actually, this example kind of sucks because both sexes can fall victim of nasty people using them. Just, it can be for pleasure, for money, for time and attention, because perhaps you are a very loving person, like you know how to be romantic, and so you might have attracted people who were only interested in you showing that side of you with them and not having to reciprocate shit. And you see in the central figure how there's like a pig running away after the main character has been depleted. And another scenario that might come through is that, like, and that is what I think of when I look at this specific guy in the figure, because he doesn't look sorry at all. Okay, he looks like he's enjoying his superficial time on Earth. Okay, and he's happy distracted. Okay, and so I was talking about your energy as very seductive, very attractive, and sometimes people are not aware of it and therefore can fall victim of certain stuff, but other times people are very aware of it and still fall victim, but of other stuff. You might be stuck in a way of seducing and like validate yourself that is distracting you from whatever it is that might give you satisfaction and that is actually running away as you are looking at an ass, okay? And so realizing that might cause a hell of confusion, and therefore you might have to fight for what it is that you let slide. Now, it is not shown here, like, that is something that, okay, it's not a disclaimer, it's more like a closing message that I also had to share with group number 2. So you might resonate with group number 2 if your current dissatisfaction in love comes from you being a dick. Like, you've been around being like a flirt with whoever was looking in your direction, and you are therefore now stuck there, okay? And that is why your your romantic hopes and dreams are not being satisfied. And group 2, it was heavier energy, like really experiencing heavy karma, but it was not like only love related. Like, it talked about having had a careless attitude towards love, but also towards your own ways to express, and therefore experiencing heavy karma even for quite some time. So if that is the situation here, you might want to check group 2 as well to get more clarity on how damaging whatever actions you might have pursued actually was. Before you can even fathom the possibility of success. But then something that is coming through, and it's quite funny to be honest, might be like the fact that you have been so careless in towards relationships in your life might also give you the inspiration to accept difficulties and I'm not going to say that. I kind of have to though, right? Really? Is that what we're talking about here? I don't want to do this. I am trying to help people grow. This does not sound like grow, for fuck's sake. I'm going to say it, okay? If this is a super dignified situation, you are going to know. I'm going to entrust you, as the spirit is entrusting me with this information. I'm going to entrust you that you are not going to interpret it in the worst way. But you might have to steal somebody else's person at some point. Either because you were sleeping on your ass while that person was walking beside you, or it's this vengeance part that is quite tricky, and that might refer to a whole bunch of situations, but that is why I want to take the time to illuminate each and every scenario that is coming through my mind, okay? So, as I was saying, vengeance might refer to a way where you were hoping to be treated and you didn't, and therefore by rejecting all the mistreatment, that is how you are going to be able to make room for love or if you have created blockages for yourself, I'd say that those same intrication skills that you had in order to find superficial suitors for yourself, you might have to learn how to be just as creative and just as persistent and yeah, just as cutthroat as you were when you didn't give a fuck. No, but really though, some this is not an easy situation. Okay. I'm also hearing that, like, the person you are hoping to be intimate with might be involved with someone else and is only open to you for pleasure. And you might be confused as fuck because, like, okay, there was someone else. I don't want to mess it up. Like, I don't want to be that person, okay? That is why I was saying, like, no, I don't want to deliver this message. I mean, what the fuck? But, perhaps that person was really not the best person in general. And so by, like, the person you are hoping to get more intimate or committed to might have the need to be with yourself and not just yourself. Like, no, this was not was I was like to this person might need to open up themselves to you in order to see like how bad that other situation is. And so you might feel like a lot of confusion because, like, you might feel used perhaps by this person specifically or by life somehow. Like, no, I just want a normal relationship. I don't want to be like the medicine for anyone. And if that's not what you want, that's also your right. If that is what's going on, that's also your right to speak your limits out loud and speak your truth. If perhaps you were open to a confused situation at some point because you were just going with the flow, there was a good chemistry, you were willing to see where that went, but eventually you realized that it wasn't going anywhere, it was just depleting you. Like your mission, your energy, your energetic mission might also involve learning how to reject people, reject opportunities, reject situations, even if they might have like a sensory satisfaction to themselves, but since they are not feeding your heart, they have to go. Okay? And yeah, because you deserve love, boo. Because you're beautiful, because you have love within yourself, because you hope for love. You might have expressed that at some point in your life. You might have been manifesting love in your life. And so perhaps you might have to go through some lessons before you feel comfortable. You can feel comfortable in that. But that is not going to come through in any sort of way if all that you do is like sell yourself short. Okay, accept less than whatever it is that you feel like you deserve. Accepting less correspondence, less harmony, less chemistry, less acceptance, less fun, okay, less intimacy as well, okay, like you might be someone who likes to express love in that way, and that is not bad per se, okay. It only becomes bad if you are either self-segregating yourself to that, or someone is forcefully segregating you to that function and that function only, while this is not what you are willing to have or put up with, okay. That was it. 2 hours video. That's okay. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this message or you resonate with it, you can subscribe to the channel. I'm going to leave this one out. I think I'm going to need pictures. No, not this time. I can put it away. You can subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share. You can also connect with me through other social media platforms. All my links are below. The donation and reservation link as well. But for now, we're going to close this chapter. I'm going to wish you good whatever you're going to have next. Say your daily Vade Retro. And see you in a future video, or a past one if you want to dig deep and see what I've put out already. Anything else? No. Thank you. Love you. Wish you strength. Sending magic. Bye.